from the Fox 5 studios, this is Silver State Sports Live.
Welcome inside Silver State Sports Live. I'm your host, Mike Davis. A massive sports day here in the Valley is another Super Bowl coming to Vegas. We are on standby for that announcement. Plus, the Golden Knights fire their coach with 8 games left in the season. We have an insider ready to talk all about it. And later, the A's get swept opening weekend, and the Runnin' Rebels are losing their star guard. But first, we begin with the big news from the Golden Knights. Vegas has fired Stanley Cup winning head coach Bruce Cassidy after nearly 4 seasons with the team. With 8 games remaining in the regular season as the team is battling for a playoff spot in the weak Pacific Division, the decision was made to move on from Cassidy in favor of John Tortorella, a man with over 20 seasons of NHL head coaching experience. His last coaching gig was with the Philadelphia Flyers. He now takes over for the Golden Knights on a deal that includes these final 8 games and then the playoffs should they make it. Kelly McCrimmon and Torts both spoke to the media today about the situation.
I got bombed out of Philly with 9 games left last year. Now I come here with 8 games left in a new job. It's a couple of crazy situations I've never been involved for, but that's the league. That's the national. That's pro sports, and I think as coaches and players, when you get to this level, the highest level of the game, you need to be prepared to handle that stuff. And I'm very fortunate to get the opportunity. I don't know Kelly as well as George. Mr. Foley also, I talked to him on the phone. I'm very fortunate to get the opportunity to work with this managers group and players because the organization is so well respected, and I don't want to let them down. I'm going to prepare myself each and every day to be the best I can be, the best version of me to help the team. But I think the important thing is that we need to do it together, and looking forward to the challenge.
We've gone from first to second to third to fighting for a playoff spot. We waited as long as we could on this. We see lots of positive signs in spurts in our game, but we just felt that we needed to bring a different person in to lead our team at this time. In John Tortorella, when we're at our best, we play hard, we play fast, we get on teams early. I think that lines up with John's philosophy as a coach. Defensively, we're very much aligned with how his teams play. We're 8 games remaining in the regular season. There's not time to come in and implement new systems across the board. There'll be tweaks, and I think the other thing that we're expecting is that within the system that we play, we have guys that do it a little bit better than we have been doing it. I think that John has great passion, great energy. He's a great communicator. He's very respected in the industry, experienced, comfortable in his own skin. I think he's going to give our team a spark. That's what I feel. Our team, if we didn't have the expectations and the belief in our team that we do, we probably would have let this thing ride out. We like our team a lot. We like our team a lot, and we think our team has a chance to win, and we needed to make this change to help that happen.
All right, so joining us now from City National Arena to break this down further is our great VGK insider reporter, Vince Sapienza. So Vince, what is the thought process from the Golden Knights here, firing a Stanley Cup winning head coach with 8 games remaining in the season as the team is struggling? What were your initial thoughts when you first heard of the move?
Well, Mike, I think it was just last week where you asked me, is Bruce Cassidy in trouble? And I said, no, Stanley Cup cachet is still very much there in the pocket. Obviously, it was not to be. You know, one of the biggest takeaways I had, not only from Kelly McCrimmon's presser, but speaking with the players in the locker room as well, was they echoed the same sentiment, that there was an energy or spirit that was lost along the way. Vegas have lost 19 of their last 27 games dating back to mid-January. We're not just talking about a few games where they've struggled or even a few weeks. We're now a couple months into where the product has been bad, not good. As far as the change, Kelly McCrimmon talked about he hasn't had one disagreement, one argument in nearly 4 years with Bruce Cassidy, but the messaging was not sticking for whatever reason. The message had gone stale in the room, and unfortunately, that is a real thing. Now, when you look at spirit and energy, you feel like that should be on the players, but you can't fire a whole bunch of players. But if you're going to make shockwaves and change something up, one way to do it to grab the attention of the entire team is the head coach. And John Tortorella, who is known for a lot of things, asking a lot of his players, no nonsense and telling it like it is. But one thing he is also known for is a swagger, is playing with a certain type of pace, which is something the Golden Knights are looking for. And when you look at the macro of it, the microcosm is the Golden Knights have not been starting well. They have not had the energy early in games. That's why you've seen them down 1, 2, 3 goals early. Despite furious comebacks, the starts have not been good. John Tortorella is being tasked with coming in and bringing a faster pace, bringing a new mindset, and the word Kelly McCrimmon used was a spark.
Spark there. So let me ask you this. Why Torts? Why John Tortorella? What made him the better option right now? And why Tortorella out of any other coach out there available?
Yeah, the first thing you ask are what are the connections between Kelly McCrimmon and John Tortorella. I asked that question to the Golden Knights GM, and he said nothing. Absolutely no connection. One is a Boston, Massachusetts guy, the other a Western Canadian. So not a lot of crossover between them, but he knows of him. Obviously a Stanley Cup champion, as you mentioned. He won it back in 2004, which coincidentally was also an in-season hire for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So in certain respect, you can say it's a tried and true recipe as far as Tortorella. But one thing that we have noticed from Tortorella is that a spark is there from the get-go. He's obviously had his fair share of different organizations and clubs that he has coached. As I mentioned, he's a guy that is no nonsense. He said he had a team meeting with the group this morning, and he was very frank. He was very upfront with what he's looking for. He's not making all these changes in terms of lineups, as you said, tweaks in the tactics. The biggest thing is mindset. And if we boil it down, it's motivation, Mike. And in its simplest form, it's getting the best out of the guys from a mental capacity, and that starts with the start of the game. That plays with playing the game faster. Stop thinking so much. Just go out and play. Let the results be what they are, but go out and play. Let the skill take over, because on paper, this is a top 4 team in the National Hockey League, but they are playing in the standings like they are a bottom 15.
Last thing here, what are your expectations not only for tonight but for the rest of the season from the Knights now that Cassidy is out and Torts is in?
Yeah, so 8 games left in the regular season. They sit 3 points behind second place Edmonton in the standings, 6 points behind first place Anaheim. I don't know how realistic it is to catch first place Anaheim with so few runway left for the team. But the expectation is to win. There's no dipping your toe in the water here. This is now or never. The Golden Knights hit the panic button. They broke glass and hit the emergency button. This is it. John Tortorella knows the task at hand. The Golden Knights players know what is at hand. They have to make the playoffs, or else major changes will be coming, even more so this summer. So the expectation is to win. It starts tonight against Vancouver, and it has to continue in a meaningful way in the final 8 games of the season.
So much for the best. We appreciate it. All right, so let's take a closer look at Bruce Cassidy's time in Vegas. 4 seasons as the head coach of the Golden Knights, a record of 178, 99, and 43, the 5th best record in the NHL over that time. He also had 24 playoff wins, 4th most in the NHL, 2 Pacific Division titles, and 1 unforgettable Stanley Cup victory in 2023. And here's what the organization is getting in. John Tortorella, a guy who's coached for 23 seasons, 6th most all-time, 770 career wins. That's 9th all-time, 56 postseason victories, 3 division titles, and a Stanley Cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2004. It's a new era for the Golden Knights with just 8 games to go before the playoffs. We'll see if Tortorella brings that spark that GM Kelly McCrimmon is hoping for. All right, still to come on Silver State Sports Live. The A's were swept opening weekend by the defending AL champs, the record that was set in the process. Plus, we're going to hear from manager Mark Davis.
This week on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Your Triple SEN lineup is sponsored by AAA Roadside Assistance. Visit AAA today.
All right, bad news for the Runnin' Rebels and Coach Passner over the weekend as Drake Gibbs Lawhorn hits the transfer portal. UNLV's leading scorer made the decision on Sunday, posting to Twitter and X. He wrote, "Thank you to the entire city of Vegas for all of the love and support you guys have shown me. As long as y'all want me, I'll always be a Runnin' Rebel and never forget the memories I made here." To the diamond now, as the A's were swept opening weekend by the defending American League champion Toronto Blue Jays. Two of those losses being walk-off heartbreakers. The A's set a record, and not in a good way, 50 strikeouts over the team's first 3 games. That is the most in MLB history. The bright spot, though, was catcher Shea Langoliers, who picked up right where he left off, tallying 3 home runs, including a grand slam, and carrying a .500 batting average into this upcoming series versus the Braves. Here's manager Mark Davis after opening weekend.
Tough series to open up, obviously against a World Series team. We were competitive all 3 games. We should have come out here with a win yesterday. But to be in every game, have a chance to, win is obviously, that's the good side. The bad side is we did get swept here. And, tomorrow's a new series against Atlanta. So hopefully we'll go to Atlanta and get this done.
All right, first pitch today against Atlanta, scheduled for 4:15. Still ahead, another Super Bowl potentially coming to Vegas. We'll have more on that after the break.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
All right, that's a live look right now at Allegiant Stadium, the site of a potential Super Bowl in 2029. Another one may be coming to Sin City after that great OT thriller between the Chiefs and the Niners back in 2024. And that is where we find our very own Mariah Janos, who is taking in all the news. Mariah, what is your reaction? Can you break down to us what is about to be happening here for another potential Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, I'm sitting here keeping an eye on the announcements while standing here as well. But yes, can confirm Super Bowl. I don't even know, 63. I'm like, Roman numerals what? Super Bowl 63 is coming to Las Vegas. We crushed it so hard just a couple of years ago. They're ready to run it back. The committee is thrilled to have the Super Bowl back here in Las Vegas. And if it's anything compared to what we saw just a few years ago, we know that our city can put on events like no other. I expect it to be even larger than when we saw back in 2024. So it's very exciting. Obviously, we are awaiting the official announcement first coming from the owners' meetings in Phoenix, and then of course there will be a whole spectacle here outside of Allegiant Stadium. We can't show you the stage setup just yet because we are still waiting for Phoenix to kick off the announcement, but I can tell you what's tentatively coming, and it's going to be big, you guys.
I see. So it sounds like we have good news in our future. Tell us, Mariah, you were here for the Super Bowl in Vegas. What makes Vegas and the Super Bowl just like peanut butter and jelly, a perfect marriage, a perfect fit?
It really is a perfect fit because no one puts on events so seamlessly like Las Vegas does. You wouldn't have known that it was our first Super Bowl just a couple of years ago. It was so perfect down to every little detail. And of course, they put the Vegas flair, the Vegas spin on everything. So this is just the perfect place to have every event. And the Super Bowl is just another one of them. I say we make it a permanent fixture here, but that's just me because I know as media members, it was so easy to navigate. It was so easy to get get from one event to another and be on Radio Row and then head over to the stadium and be able to bop around to all of the different interactive things that were going on around the city. So yeah, Las Vegas is the perfect site for the Super Bowl. You don't have to go very far. Everything is conducive to staying in just one spot. And of course, it is always larger than life. The bright lights, the glitz, the glam. No one does it like Las Vegas, Mike.
Nobody does it like you, Mariah. We appreciate all the great insight and information. We'll see you in a little bit, and we're going to head straight to break right now. We'll be right back with Silver State Sports Live when we return.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
All right, welcome back to Silver State Sports Live. We're going out to Phoenix, Arizona, where our sports director, Kevin Bollinger, is out at the NFL owners meetings in Phoenix. Kevin, it's great to see you. We know we're awaiting the official news on the 2029 Super Bowl being awarded to Las Vegas, but let's talk about all the other fanfare that's going on there right now. Tell us, I know you were supposed to talk with John Spytek and head coach Clint Kubiak. What do you have for us on that front?
Well, just spoke to John Spytek not too long ago. We'll not be speaking to Clint Kubiak until tomorrow. But John Spytek did touch on the Max Crosby situation. He says that he continues to stay in touch, as he always has, with Max Crosby since the season ended and through this entire process where he was traded to Baltimore and then, of course, sent back because they said that he did not pass his physical. And right now, all systems are go to Crosby to be a Raider come week 1. We also talked about the upcoming draft in terms of what's going to happen between now and the end of April when the draft begins in Pittsburgh. Of course, they're going to be having those top 30 visits where they're going to be able to invite players into the Raiders facility and deal with them a little bit more from a workout standpoint, and also get to know them individually to help them make the decisions that they have to make come draft day. As of right now, the Raiders have 10 selections in the draft, and they are going to have to hit on a lot of those selections to rebuild this roster and try and get the sustained success that they're looking for 2 or 3 years down the road, if not sooner. So Spytek says that they're all systems go on the draft. He was happy with how free agency turned out, and so far this offseason gone pretty well as the Raiders wanted it to go so far.
All right, yeah, that's great to hear from Spytek. You know, a guy who's done a tremendous job reloading this roster. And listen, Kevin, you know it. The Raiders have been the talk of the offseason throughout the entire NFL. I'm curious, being there with all 32 owners, media members from all around the country, what's just the general vibe about the silver and black when you're there and talking to so many different media members and people throughout the NFL?
Well, you know, I think just like a lot of Raider Nation, a lot of the people around the league are kind of in a wait-and-see type of mode in terms of this Raiders team, what is going to happen. Assuming that they do pick Francisco Mendoza with the number 1 overall selection, when is he going to play? Will he play in week 1, and how much of an immediate impact will he have? And did the Raiders do enough in the offseason to try and get things going to make a big jump this year? So really just kind of a wait-and-see attitude with this Raiders team, but a lot of eyeballs definitely going to be on Las Vegas this upcoming season.
Having the first overall pick. We can't wait to see the presumptive Heisman Trophy winner, Fernando Mendoza, hopefully going to be the first overall pick in the draft for the Raiders. Now, Kevin, I'm getting word that on Twitter, on X, it is official that the NFL has announced that 2029, the Super Bowl, will be played back in Las Vegas. What's your take on the marriage between Vegas and the Super Bowl? Is it a perfect fit? What did you think last go around? Right now, Kevin, do you got us? All right, Kevin might not be able to hear us. We're having some technical difficulties. We thank Kevin Bollinger for all the great work he's doing out there in Phoenix, Arizona. He's doing great work at the NFL owners meetings. We'll have a lot more from him over the next few days. Of course, he spoke with GM of the Raiders, John Spytek, and coming up, he will be talking with new head coach Clint Kubiak tomorrow. So stick here to Silver State Sports and Fox 5 as we get more information from the NFL owners meetings in Phoenix. But right now, let's talk about an insane finish to last night's final March Madness Elite 8 game. There is my producer, my good buddy, James Edward Barrickman IV. He's using the producer cam in the control room, joining us right now. James, we were talking all yesterday after that big finish, the sports world going crazy as UConn defeats Duke on a last-second three-point shot from the logo, coming back from down 19, and they win on that insane shot from the freshman Mullins. What was going through your mind, producer James? Okay, we can't hear producer James either, so I will just tell you that it was absolute insanity. That guy right there, Coach Hurley, doing tremendous work. They're trying to get their third in 4 years national championship. He's done tremendous stuff with the Huskies, from Jim Calhoun to Kevin Ali to now Hurley. Let's see if the whole squad can win the Final Four and get that third victory in 4 years. He's a nut job, but we love him. It's what makes sports great. Thanks so much for joining us here on Silver State Sports Live. So much great action ahead, but we got the Super Bowl here in 2029. You can't beat that. I'm Mike Davis. We'll see you next time here tomorrow at 2 p.m. Thanks so much for joining us.